Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back to Weekend English Series. In this series, we are going to talk with inspirational people about inspiring person.
But before that, sorry if you listen to music because there's reading down strength. Okay, let us introduce ourselves.
Hello, I'm Banyu Ganesha Widiyana. I'm from 8th grade student uh, of IDN Boarding School Solo.
I'm Mochammad Ibam. I'm a grade. I am a grade high school student, and I'm from Banjarnegara, Central.
Nice. And what do you feel about today?
I feel amazing because today we are going to talk with amazing people.
That's great to hear. And how about the viewers? How are you guys today? Let me know in the live chat. But now I'm thinking whom we are gonna talk with today.
So we will talk to Mr. Yoko. He is and he is now
Teacher, teacher,
teacher at our at
English teacher.
English teacher at IDN Boarding School Solo.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I hope the coffee.
Okay. Okay. Because we are not have a more topic. Okay, let's go to talk with the Mr. Yoko. Okay. Okay. Hello, Mr. Yoko.
Hi, hello.
How,
Yeah,
how
I'm
about
here.
you today?
Yeah, I'm
Can you
good.
hear me?
I'm
Okay,
good. I'm good. What about you?
I'm
Good.
fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Mister.
Mhm.
In this VET, I and Ibam will talk or maybe ask you about the motivation from you.
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, can I ask to you for the one question?
Of course. You can ask
How
me
did you
anything.
know? Okay, how did you know about EDN and why did you choose to become a teacher at EDN?
Wow, that's great question by Ibam or Banyu. Okay, so thank you so much for asking me that question. So for knowing IDN, actually, I didn't know IDN before because I didn't know before, and I know IDN because at the time at the time IDN was on my scrolling. IDN was on my scrolling, and then there is like what hiring as the English teacher in IDN, and I apply for that. Then for that action, I can know about IDN. And for the following question, why I choose IDN, uh, why I choose to be English teacher in IDN, because in IDN it's so good environment, especially in this IDN boarding school solo. So the first time the first time I know about IDN solo, especially IDN solo, is about the view. So in here, the view is really good. That can make me interested in living and becoming English teacher in here, like that. Ibam and
Okay,
Banyu.
okay. For the next question,
So for the next question, Mr. Yoko, what is your motivation for learning English?
Okay, so for my motivation to learn English, actually, for the first time, actually when I was in my school, junior high school or senior high school, I didn't know English or I could not speak English at all. Because at the time I didn't like English. But after graduating from senior high school, I decided to learn English because at the time I wanted to get scholarship, especially scholarship for abroad. And then I decided to learn English by myself for the first time. I studied by myself. It means autodidact method, and then going to Pare for improving and deepen my English. And I got English from Pare. So I was in Pare for about 1 year more. 1 year more in Pare for studying English. And my motivation to learn English, so like my Falcon for the first time, um, I'm I wanted to get a scholarship like that.
Okay, for the next question for me, what are the biggest emotional challenge you faced during childhood?
Childhood, chill. Can
Childhood,
you repeat? Childhood.
childhood,
Okay.
childhood.
So the most challenging. It means the most challenging when I was still in my childhood. Yeah, like that. Okay.
Uh,
For my. Okay. Can you repeat once more your question,
uh,
Ibam?
what are the biggest emotional challenge you faced during childhood?
Okay. The biggest
The biggest
emotional
emotional,
or the
yes,
biggest
challenge.
emotion. Okay. The biggest emotional challenge that I faced when in my childhood. I think what is that? Let me think about it because yeah at the time I didn't have any support system when in my childhood I didn't have a good support system to especially to learn English. Okay, especially to learn English I didn't have good environment. Like in my environment was Japanese, all of the Japanese, and no one spoke English in my environment, and that's my big challenge. And yeah, when I learn something new, especially English, so it was like a fish out of water. So I didn't know, and I didn't have any partner to practice my English. And the other thing that, wow, it's so hard for me to struggle in English, to struggle to learn something new because no one supported me to improve and to empower my learning, to empower my struggle for that. And I'm sure that you, Ibam and Banyu, you have a good environment in here. So I think your English will be better than me in when you are grown up, like that.
But uh, uh, my question I talked about in during in childhood, but
Mm-hmm.
when Mr. Yoko worked in this EDN, Mr. Maybe Mr. Yoko have a emotional challenge, biggest emotional challenge or no?
Yeah, I think for biggest emotional challenge like that, I didn't have any partner. So there is no one can empower me. No one can empower me for that. So that's challenge.
Oh,
I think that is my challenge.
okay.
Okay, the next question for me is what is Mr. Various vision for the
Career, career.
current we are under talking?
Okay, pardon. Can you repeat?
What is Mr. vision for the career we are under talking?
Mission. Mission, is that mission?
Vision, vision.
Vision in my career. So a vision
Yes.
in my career. Okay. So for my vision in my career now, I built English career as my career. I mean English as my career. So I have a big dream in my future later. I have institute or some course about language, can be Arabic or English, and then that can make my that I put that as my vision, even from my mission as well, from my mission, vision, and mission. So I think what thing that I do right now was is in my street. It's my in my road. So for my mission later in my future or in my career, I want to be like the founder in the founder of finds that I want to be the founder, especially as the founder of the course or institute in my especially in my city. Yes, sir. So that's my big mission of my life.
Okay. And for the next, now Mr. Yoko has become an English teacher. Does Mr. Yoko have other dreams or maybe like how to say cita-cita dream?
Mhm. Yeah, I believe that everyone has a dream because dream is a hope, and I have a quote. I have a quote that the quote comes from a wise teacher. Wise teacher said, mm, "People can survive 4 days without food, but only 4 minutes people can survive without hope. And hope is about a dream. If we have a dream, it means we have hope. Then my dream and my hope in here, I want to improve myself. I want to improve myself, and I want to inspire many people to about goodness, especially about the goodness. And that's my dream. And no, I train myself to motivate somebody else, and then give the motivation, give the solution when they have a problem or they have a trouble in their life, in their studying and in their learning anything. So I want to be there, and that's why my big dream is not about that actually. So I believe that everyone is not about me, but everyone has a dream. And because you asked me, my big dream, my big dream is about motivator. So I can motivate people, many people. I can empower many people to learn to do a goodness in their life. So motivation or motivator is my big dream.
Okay.
How about that?
You next.
Okay. The next question is, what are Mr. Yoko complaints when learning English?
Mm-mm.
Complaints.
Mm-mm.
There
What's
is
that?
complaints
Pardon, I cannot
Repeat,
hear
repeat, repeat,
clearly.
repeat.
for it. What are Mr. Yoko complaints when learning English?
Oh, my complaint when learn English. When I learn
Yes.
English. Okay. For my complaint when I learn English, actually until now I'm still learning about English. So my big trouble or my complaint to learn English is about the first thing is environment. Before going to Pare, Kampung Inggris, uh, I was studying by myself by autodidact method, but I didn't have a good environment to improve, to increase my English, so um that's my complaint. Why I was there? Why I was in this environment? I think I could move in the another place that I can grow there. I can improve my English there. And then I decided to Pare because I didn't have any good support system in my hometown, especially in my hometown. So I complained to my what's that? To my to my life. Actually, I complained to my life why I didn't was not in the good place, but I changed my mind to move in other place to learn English, and yeah, Alhamdulillah, now my English can be improved.
Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay. For the next is what does Mr. Yoko do when he got into trouble?
Mm-hmm. What?
Okay. What does Mr. Yoko do when he gets into trouble?
Into trouble? What about? If
Into
I know what
trouble.
about?
Like
Yeah,
masalah. Masalah.
trouble about what? About what?
Like don't
In learning
understand.
English or in teaching or what? What is that?
Teaching.
In teaching, trouble in
Yes.
teaching. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, the trouble in teaching, I think it's about the method. Um, what is that? I think it's about method. It's about method. I believe, some students or most students in Indonesia, they have been learning English start from start from start from what's that? Yeah, elementary school, I think. Start from elementary school until senior high school, but they could not speak English at all. They only have a material from the teacher, but 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 they cannot implement their English in their life. So I think that is not good and that's trouble. And now in my career as a teacher, I do not want to do that actually. So if I teach English to my students, I don't want to only giving material, but I want to they can practice from my material, and then they can practice that can help their English better than they were. I think because of the method and my trouble of learning is about method. And yeah, I have my own method. I have my own method now, and then sometimes I have a trouble as well when I teach English. It's like the students are not interested in learning English. So that's the first thing or the biggest thing, the biggest trouble of learning English. The students are not interested in learning. So the teacher job, how to make them interested in learning English. So I think
Mm.
that that's the big problem, especially in my career now. In my career now, not all students want to learn English. They only sit down in the class and what's that? And following my class, but they are not exhausted about English. They are not interested in English. So that's my trouble, my big trouble in my teaching. Like that, Mas Banyu and Ibam.
Okay. Yes. Next.
Next,
How how motivated are you to maximize your potential?
mm-mm.
Yes. How motivated are you to maximize your potential?
How to
Mm.
maximize.
Repeat.
Yes. Motivate. How motivated are you to maximize your potential?
How to motivate my potential.
Yes.
Is that
Maximus your potential.
mhm, my potential? I think
Uh,
I don't have any potential. I think about that.
um, okay.
What's
Okay.
my
Okay.
potential? Maybe in learning English, yeah, because I know I got my potential because I learned English, I studied English, I learned English. So that's maybe people or you. Mas Ibam and Banyu, you think that I have a potential, but because of that, okay, I will answer it.
Mm.
Okay, so my motivates to what is to keep my what is that potential to keep my
Motivation.
potential. um I want to make my environment following me. So there is the kind of people, there is a kind of people they can interest their environment following him. And I want to be the people who can interest the environment following me. And then because I have a little potential in English, so I want to the people around me, they can speak English, they can follow me to speak English, act act in English. And that's why motivates them to motivate them is my maximize priority, or my job to motivate them, so that can keep my potential as well. So any question?
Okay. 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 For the next question is, what valuable life lesson has Mr. Yoko ever learned?
Mm-hmm.
What valuable life lesson has Mr. Yoko ever learned?
In English or in what?
In English.
In English. So the valuable thing maybe, yeah. The valuable thing that I learn in English like that, Mas Banyu.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Like what?
like the valuable life lesson if Mr. Yoko study English.
Okay, the valuable thing or the valuable lesson that I get in English. So actually, I'm never dreamed of becoming a teacher, especially English teacher. So for you, maybe that the word I I would like to tell you, Ibam and Banyu, that life is not same. Life is not same,
Mm.
and life
Yeah.
is always moving. So
Mm.
when maybe you are now the student, but after you graduate from your school, maybe you have a lot of changing life. So the life is like you didn't expect before. Actually, you want to be colleger, you want to be influencer maybe, but in your grown up in your future, you didn't do you will not be that. You will be anything, maybe you will be doctor or you will be a teacher as well. So I think the valuable lesson that I get from English, yeah, that's why English is not my dream. It's English becoming English teacher is not my dream, because at the
Mm.
time when I was young, it's like you in your age. I mean, in your age, I didn't expect becoming English teacher, and but I can keep my life by value my journey, so I can keep growing and survive until now. That's about the valuable lesson of learning English.
Okay. And in your life,
The most valuable.
what is the
Mhm.
most valuable experience Mr. Yoko has ever had about anything? Experience.
Valuable experience.
Yes. Has ever had.
Like what? What you mean? Like what?
Mm.
Ibam?
English.
Like what?
Uh,
In Pare.
in Pare maybe, or when teaching
Mhm.
about anything. Yes,
Okay,
experience.
so the valuable experience. What's that? Let me think about it. Okay, so my valuable experience is about becoming. becoming the best speaker when I was studying at Pare. Actually, in my
Mm.
course, so there was a competition. There was a competition, and the competition was about speech, giving speech, and I delivered my speech in front of many people, and the people it was not around, was not in the same place, but they were from another island, like from the Aceh, from Papua, from Kalimantan, Sumatra, and yeah, like Bali and the other. And then I was the best speaker there. I think that's the biggest experience that I get, and the valuable experience in Pare. So becoming the best speaker and becoming the contestant of some agenda like that. So I can get my leadership in there. I can
Mm.
motivate many people. Mm, so the most valuable experience that I get in Pare.
Okay. Okay. Uh, before Mr. Yoko say if before Mr. Yoko going to IDN, Mr. Yoko study in Pare.
Mm.
Yes. And can you story to give the story uh in detail if you eh when you study at the Pare
Mm-hmm. The detail
detail
story, right?
story.
That
Mm.
okay. The story when the first time I was coming to Pare at the time, because I was rejected. I was
Mm.
rejected. I was rejected in some university because at the time I wanted to continue become the colleger in some of university, but I rejected, and then I decided to coming in the Pare, if I'm not wrong, at the time at September 2021. 2000 September 2021. That's the first time, the first step I stepped in Pare to learn English, and then I learned in English. I learned English in Pare for about 1 year, 1 year, and then it's not about learning, but I learned how to teach member or how to teach students as well. And then after graduate from my teach or from my course, actually from my course, I applied some hiring. I applied some hiring to be the tutor in Pare,
Mm.
and I was there, become the tutor. I mean, and then yeah, like that. In my experience in Pare, my story in Pare, so it's like what's that? I met many people. That's the big experience or the unforgettable experience. I met many people. Like my friend was was coming from around the Indonesian, another
Mm.
island, like some Papua, Medan, and the others. Then I could share my experience, and they could share their story each other to me. We could sharing with them, and that's about my story in Pare. So the conclusion, I was there for about 1 year, 1 year more, maybe 13 months in Pare. 30 months in Pare for learning
Mm.
English.
Okay. Mm.
And actually, I must Ibam and Banyu. Actually, I have inspiring person. So
Mm.
um, it's about this topic. Yeah, actually, it's about this topic is about inspiring person. So it's better if we talk about inspiring person. And I have my what's that? I have my inspiring person in my parts of life. It's like in
Mm.
my In my English, I have inspiring person, and in
mm,
other style of my life, I have it as
mm.
well. And then I believe that you have inspiring person as well. So maybe if you ask me about the inspiring person, it's really better as Ibam and Banyu.
Mhm.
Okay, the next question. What bad things has Mr. Yoko experienced and still remember if not?
Mm-mm. What experience that I still remember in what?
Yes,
Hmm.
and now the bad things, the bad things.
On the bad thing.
Ah,
Bad
yes.
thing. What's that? The bad thing that I still remember till until now. Let me think. The bad thing. I think the bad thing that I still remember start from now. What's that? Um, I think it's what's that? It's my secret. So for sharing my bad thing,
Yeah.
because yeah, I want to keep my secrets for my bad thing, but I have to answer. So do I have to answer for this? Ibam and Banyu, do I have to answer?
Enter.
Do I have to answer?
Uh,
No, no, no.
do
Still last question. Still last question. So I have to answer like that.
Okay. Uh,
So okay, I will share you about my bad thing. Yeah, I will share
yes.
you about my bad thing, and my
Mm-hmm.
bad thing in my life. It's about my dream, in my big dream in my childhood. Actually, in my childhood, I had a dream becoming professional football player. But but the bad thing that I didn't do, and where's that? I still want until now. I want to be a professional football player, but I didn't do that because because my because my attempt at the time, because I have a big attempt in my life, especially in my children. So I think that's big thing. So that's big. What's that? The big bad thing, yeah. The bad thing
Mm-hmm.
that I have. So my attempt block me to my dream, brought me into my dream. So maybe I have a suggestion to all the people or the viewers in here. So if you have a stem or shy to show yourself in front of the people or show your talent, so I think you have to show it. So whatever is that, you have to show your talent. You have to show what to do, and then don't um don't give up about your dream. If you have a dream, do that seriously, do that, deepen your dream, and then you have to get it. You have to get it. Don't don't block because of your attempt. I think my attempt is
Okay.
my big thing.
Oh, okay. Mr. Yoko, because this is the last question,
Hmm.
if I ask to you, can you answer in detail? Detail.
Yes, of course.
Okay. What are the motivational words that Mr. Yoko has here and still remember to this today? Like maybe Mr. Yoko hear the motivational uh, speech like the some YouTuber or some people like that still remember.
Hmm. Okay. So my quotes or my motivational word comes from my teacher, my teacher in Pare. If I tell you, he is Mr. Kalen. Mr. Kalen Olsen.
Mhm,
If you know, he is the founder of Kampung Inggris Pare. So the first
mhm,
person who built course in Pare is Mr. Kalen. So at the time, Mr. Kalen told me that talent is not permanent, but wi- struggle will come true. So I think that's what's very valuable and very interesting in my life, because if we don't have talent, that's okay. If we don't have a talent, it's okay, but we can get our dream, by our struggle, by our struggle, because to get dream there are two ways. To get our dream there are two ways: by our talent and our struggle. So maybe we we always compare with not with other people who has a talent, but we don't have a talent. But it's okay if we don't have a talent in our life. That's that's fair, guys. Okay, that's fair, because we have a struggle. No, not all people has no, not all people have talent, but I'm sure that all people have a struggle. So the thing that we have to know, we want or no. If we want to do, if we want to achieve our goal or our dream, we have to struggle, not by our talent. So talent and struggle is it's different, I think. Then we can get our dream by our struggle.
ah, okay, okay, viewers, because this is the last question from
Mhm.
I and Ibam. And thank you very much for Ustad Yoko, Mr. Yoko, for sharing stories and experience. Hopefully, it can inspire many people who wants to study in. But before we close this talk, maybe a closing statement from Ustad Yoko. Mr. Yoko will be great.
Okay.
Thank you,
So
Mr.
my last word or what, Ibam?
Like closing or maybe motivation
Okay,
words.
so from my motivation, I'm sure everyone has 24 hours in a day, but they only have a few occasions to create a best moment. So everyone, let's create our big or our great our good moment in our life by doing our goodness and sharing and empower many people around us, I think, around us. So everyone has 24 hours in a day, but they only a few occasions to create a best moment.
Hmm,
I think that is the best moment that we can create.
okay.
Okay, I think that's enough.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Yoko. Thank you, thank you for sharing. I hope the knowledge we get today can be useful someday. So now we are going to close this season.
Vision. Finally, we have reached the end of this episode of Weekend English Tech Talk series. Thank you for Mr. Yoko and everyone who has participated in this lesson. Let's close this with this Weekend English Tech Talk with Kafaratul Majelis. That's got to like. Okay. So the last. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you,
Waalaikumsalam.
Mr. Yoko.
Okay, anytime.